All right, class. Recently, we've been talking about the Cold War and the Eastern Front. And now today we're going to go ahead and discuss the Cold War on the home front in the United States. During the 1940s and 1950s, nuclear air raid drills were a part of everyday life for school children. Students began performing bomb drills where they would duck and cover under their desks or huddle in the school's basement. Does this look familiar? Today in California, we still have earthquake drills in which we duck and cover. Many different companies pushed for consumers to purchase do-it-yourself bomb shelters. As you can see above, there is a picture of the inside of what a fallout protection shelter would look like and how much money it would cost to build. The pictures at the bottom show you how life would still go on while you lived in the bomb shelter. During this time, the House of Un-American Activities Committee was created. The HUAC, which is the abbreviation for that, their primary job was to investigate possible subversive agencies and the movie industry. Now, subversive, that's kind of a hard word, so let's go ahead and find some synonyms for this. Subversive, trying to undermine the government. Subversive, trying to overturn the government. In this case, subversive was referred to anybody who was communist. Over the course of their investigations, the HUAC ended up tarnishing the reputations of many actors, writers, directors, and musicians. Over to the left is a picture of one of the investigations that was done by the HUAC. And we also have pictures of protesters as well as the newspaper article that was published at the time. We're going to go ahead and discuss and do a brief activity with the Hollywood 10. Now, these were 10 actors, writers, / film critics that were charged with crimes against the United States. Okay? At this time, witnesses were called to testify as to whether or not they were communist, whether or not they had communist views, whether or not they belonged to the Communist Party. At this time, they refused to testify. Now, we know that the Fifth Amendment protects our right to refuse to testify against oneself. Well, as a result of refusing to testify, the Hollywood 10 had their careers ruined, and some were sent to prison. They were blacklisted, and in this case, this means an artist was not allowed to work in the film industry until they either confessed to being part of the Communist Party themselves or named other people, friends, family, didn't really matter who, as members of the party. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and watch a brief video on some of the footage that was taken during these investigations.
At home, Americans feared red subversion. Congress revived the House Committee on Un-American Activities. In 1947, the committee investigated Hollywood, factory of America's imagination.
Have you ever observed any communistic information in any scripts? Well, I've turned down quite a few scripts because I thought they were tinged with communistic ideas. They haven't attempted to use me, I don't think, because apparently they know that I'm not very sympathetic to communism.
There has been a small group within the Screen Actors Guild which has consistently opposed the policy of the Guild board and officers or the Guild itself as evidenced by the vote on various issues. That small clique has been referred to, has been discussed as more or less following the tactics that we associate with the Communist Party.
If I had my way about it, they'd all be sent back to Russia or some other unpleasant place.
Ten witnesses, the Hollywood 10, defied the committee's right to ask about their beliefs.
Are you a member of the Communist Party? Or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
It's unfortunate and tragic that I have to teach this committee the basic principles of Americanism.
That's not the question. The question is, have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
I am framing my answer in the only way in which any American citizen can frame his
Then you
answer to
denied-
a question
then you-
which invades his, absolutely invades
Then
his
you
right.
denied, you refused to answer that question. Is that correct?
I have told you that I will
All right.
offer my beliefs, my affiliations, and
Here's the
everything
witness.
else
Here's the
to the
witness.
American public, and they will know where I stand, as they do from what I have written.
Stand away
I
from
have
the
written
stand.
for Americanism for many years, and I shall
Stand
continue
away from the
to
stand.
fight for the Bill of Rights, which you
I'll
are trying to
take
destroy.
this man away from the stand.
Others from the film industry demonstrated their support for the constitutional rights of the 10.
Are you or have you ever been a member of the Communist Party?
I believe I have the right to be confronted with any evidence which supports this question. I should like to see what you have.
Oh, well, you would.
Yes.
Well, you will pretty soon. The witness is excused.
Either you completely cooperated with the committee, which meant saying yes or no to the question about whether you were a communist or ever had been. And if the answer was yes, as it was in my case, we knew the next question was who else was, and we certainly didn't want to go into that.
The 10 were imprisoned. With hundreds more, they were blacklisted, their livelihoods taken away.
People generally in Hollywood were pretty scared to have anything to do with us. Whereas before we went to prison, they had not been nearly as scared, and there were plenty of undercover arrangements that were made to write scripts under pseudonyms for a good deal less money than you were accustomed to being paid.
Okay, so with that, we're going to go ahead and answer a couple reflection questions, okay? We did go ahead and read the Lillian Hellman letter yesterday, which talked about her right to invoking the Fifth Amendment. So in at least 3 sentences, please summarize the main ideas for and against invoking the Fifth Amendment that we spoke about when we read Lillian Hellman's letter. In at least 1 paragraph, explain the relationship between the increase in government powers during the Cold War in the United States and the blacklisted Hollywood artists we just reviewed. And the third reflection question I'd like you to answer is, if you were subpoenaed, what would you do? Now go ahead and review the Lillian Hellman letter one more time if you're unsure about what the word subpoenaed means. We did go over that, and we did write an active definition for that word, and you should have notes in your notebook on that. Would you testify against yourself and your families, friends, coworkers, or classmates? Please tell me why and explain the reason behind your answer. I will expect these to be completed at home, and once you return to class tomorrow, we will go ahead and review them. Thank you.